Maryland horse racing is back before lawmakers. A report just released is recommending major changes that could secure the future of Pimlico, but mean the end to racing at Laurel. Sue Copen reports.
It's another afternoon of racing at Laurel Park, one of the state's two primary thoroughbred racetracks. But Laurel Park's future may well be anything but a sure bet. And racing fans have mixed feelings about closing Laurel and going to Pimlico.
I won't go because it's not to my liking anymore.
I was totally unaware that that was a possibility, but I am aware that we need to do something to maintain racing in Maryland.
The Maryland Thoroughbred Racetrack Operating Authority, created by the legislature last year to study the future of racing in the state, has given lawmakers a series of proposals to consider this session, a plan it calls Pimlico Plus. Among the recommendations, a state takeover of operations at Pimlico. Pimlico would get a new track, stables, and clubhouse. There would be year-round racing at the track. The plan envisions private investments in a hotel, event space, and other developments around the area of the track. Pimlico would remain home to the Preakness, but the Stronach Group would retain ownership of the event, while licensing rights to the Preakness would be handled by a state-created nonprofit. The plan also calls for temporarily relocating the Preakness to here at Laurel Race Track, at least until the renovations and improvements are complete at Pimlico.
We're nearing the finish line.
Baltimore City Delegate Sandy Rosenberg grew up in the area around Pimlico. He says no additional funding will be needed for the renovations and other improvements at the track because of a previous allocation.
There was very little spent because the $400 million was to do a rebuild at Pimlico and Laurel. So now the study, the work that came about subsequent to the passage of the bill 4 years ago made it clear that it was far too expensive to do both, to renovate both facilities. So that's why we're now doing just Pimlico.
Baltimore City Senator Corey McCray says he looks forward to what this will mean for the community around Pimlico.
The core piece and the core value of mine is making sure that the community, it cannot just be some place where folks are coming to do the horse racing piece. There has to be that large community component, and I feel like it's going in the right direction at the moment.
And Delegate Rosenberg says taking care of the communities around Pimlico doesn't mean adding to the cost.
We want to make sure that there's a plan and a commitment, but we can do other things that benefit the community, the surrounding communities, with existing state programs.
We're betting on Pimlico. So we're betting on Pimlico, and we did that several years ago, but this keeping the train on the track is saying that the General Assembly, the Baltimore City, that all of the partners are still moving in the same direction and making sure that this is a part of Park Heights' future.
The plan now awaits the legislature's review and approval before lawmakers reach the finish line on April 8th. I'm Sue Copen for State Circle.